Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kurt, and welcome to probably another league that's not going to end up getting finished uploaded. This is the WPF, the World Pokemon Federation. If you guys don't know what the WPF is, it is run by Rizzo? Rizux? Yeah, I think it's Rizzo, because I don't think you pronounce X in words, so I think it's Rizzo. If I'm wrong, then roast me in the comments, I guess, because I'm stupid. But this is the WPF. WPF is a showdown league that kind of runs similarly to how APA runs their showdown leagues. They have an S tier division, an A tier division, a B tier division, a C tier division, and a D tier division. And they also run side leagues along, so they got a lot of leagues going down there. If I'm able to, I'll leave a link to the server in the description. If I can't, then I don't know. Be sad. Don't be sad. Yeah. So basically the side leagues, they also got Ubers, they got VGC, they got low tier, and they got ORAS. They started doing ORAS season. They replaced Little Cup with ORAS. Kind of sad, because I do love me some Little Cups, but ORAS is where it's at, baby. Love ORAS. It's my best generation I've done in Pokemon, just because I don't think I've had an ORAS season where I had a negative record. Even when I first started, I always went at least 6-6 or stuff like that. So ORAS has always been my good tier. It's been my home. It's been my baby. So yeah. So I had to join. They grabbed me up, and I was very excited. So I don't like doing draft analysis. If you know me as a person, or if you just watch my videos for some reason, I don't know why you would. But yeah. So this is my squad. This is my team page on the dock. I'm going to run down my team real quick. First pick was Mega Guard. I was second pick overall. So I was really debating between Mew, Megalop, and Mega Guard. Those were the big three. I decided to go Mega Guard because I've used Megalop a lot, and I feel like I'd have more fun with Mega Guard than I would with Mew. And Pixelate is just busted in Gen 6. So definitely to pick up the monster Mega Guard. Round 2 we picked up Gren. It was a really nice speed tier. Gives me spike support and gives me a dark type to help break break psychic types and ghost types, which might be annoying for guard to rip through. Next we got Ferrothorn as our third pick, basically pseudo wheel. I decided to get Ferrothorn because it gives me a nice steel type, it gives me rocks and spikes and a very bulky Pokemon to just start pairing with my Gardevoir. Obviously cover stuff like the poison weakness, the steel weakness, the everything that it does. Gives me the hazard support, so that way guard can kill things instead of doing like 90% and just barely missing out on the KO. At least hazards will get that extra chip that I need. Round 4 we picked up Raikou to fill in the speed tier between Gren and Mega Guard, that 115 speed tier, and give me some more momentum into Gren. Round 5, I picked up Mamoswine because both Nidos and Mamoswine were available at this time, but I decided to go Mamoswine over one of the Nidos because I wanted a physical wall breaker, and obviously the Nidos can be run physical, but they're kind of better special because a lot of the special moves have the sheer force boost. So I decided to go Mamoswine because my team is very specially offensive with the Mega Guard, the Gren, and the Raikou right now. So I wanted Mamoswine as a physical wall breaker, and also it's Mamoswine. And that 80 speed tier is nice. My plan was actually lacking that speed tier, so I decided to pick up Mamoswine. Round 5 we go in Jellicent because my team is a little bit fighting weak with Gren, Ferrothorn, and Mamoswine. Obviously guard resist, but I don't want to switch it in on a fighting type, so it gives me a fighting immunity. It also gives me a bulky water, which is always super nice to pair with Greninja because Greninja is not a very bulky water type. Round 6 we picked up Claydol because removal in Gen 6 is ass. I really wanted Tentacruel in that Jellicent slot. I was going to get Tentacruel round 5, but I got sniped of it, unfortunately. So I really want Tentacruel, and losing Tentacruel threw my entire plan off whack, which is why I ended up with Jellicent and Claydol. But if I got Tentacruel, then that would have been pretty much those two Pokemon in one. It would have been the fighting resist, it would have been the spinner, it would have been the bulky water, it would have given me T-spikes, it would have given me so much for my team, but unfortunately we got Sniper-roonied. So Claydol is there as the low tier budget spinner. I picked it up early because spinners and defoggers were going like crazy, so I had to get mine just to make sure I had some removal so I wasn't completely screwed by hazards. Round 7, I picked up Avalugg as another low-tier spinner. Probably could have waited on Avalugg, but my other 3 Mons were very interchangeable. So Avalugg was the only thing I was really set on at that point. So I decided to go Avalugg. Gives me another spinner, another physically defensive wall that can come in some niche situations. Round 8, I picked up Heracross because that is Bog. Fills the speed gap between Mega Guard and Mamoswine just better because a base 90 was able to run Modest against my team, or a base 95 was able to run Modest, so Heracross just fills in that speed tier to force 90s, 95s to run Jolly or Timid. Round 9, we picked up Golbat is a last hazard remover. I miscalculated, so I had Muck originally, and I was like, wait, I have 2 extra points. And I was like, but it's not a grounded poison. I'm like, wait, it doesn't matter if my poison type's not grounded if I have defog anyways. So like, it forced me to defog, but like, I can still get rid of Toxic Spikes. People want to try that against my team, which I don't think most people will. But if they do, they want to get cheeky with it. I have Golbat for defog. Also, I love Golbat. It's one of my favorite low tier mons. Probably one of my favorite Eviolite users in draft. It's just a really good Pokemon. And then round 10, I picked up Tyrantrum. Just needed a dragon type. I had a bunch of points left over. Gives me another rocker as well. And Tyrantrum is one of those mons. I've always wanted to try it, but there's always better dragon types. Like I always end up with like Dragonite or Garchomp or Haxorus or something like that. And Tyrantrum just overlooked, so decided to pick him up, give him a chance. Also give me another rocker, so it's not just Ferrothorn and Mamoswine. You can see my nicknames on the left side. Bernadetta, the best Fire Emblem girl, because we love Bernadetta on this channel. Greninja is Delray, after my boy Del. Love you, Del. That's Mr. Frogman. We got Metagrass, the Ferrothorn, because that's my most creative nickname I've ever come. Rocko, the Raikou, because, you know, CTC. We got Mamoswine, the Mamoswine, after the goat Mamaw. Everyone loves Mamaw. We got Blooples, the Jellicent, because I just made a sound and it sounded like Jellicent, so I made a sound, and that's how we come up with that name. We got Dummyhead, because Claydol is stupid and dumb. We got Vanilla Ice, the Avalugg. Because he's an ice type, and I'm very original. We have Bog, because Heracross is a bog type. We love bogs. We have Bulgat, the Golbat, because I stole Owen's nickname from IBA, because in IBA I was screwing with Brody and just moving letters around on his IBA name team, and Owen said, do my team, so I did Owen's team, and we came up with Bulgat, the Golbat, and it was actually a really funny nickname, so we keep that. And then we got Duffield, the Tyrantrum, who was named after one of my favorite teachers I had in high school, and he loved the Toronto Raptors, and Tyrantrum kind of looked like a raptor. So, that's the gang. This is the brief intro to things. I'm gonna cut, and then we'll be into our week 1 team builder. Hiya! Alright, and here's the team builder. Shout out to my transitions, because I'm cool like that. If you want to skip my team builder, timestamp in the description. Probably. If not, then sucks to suck. This week we're taking on Halux, coach of the Counting Alakazams. Shouts to the logo, shouts to the team name. Really like it. It's really funny. So looking at his team is the Torn T, the Gengar, the Haxorus, the Chansey, the Tangrowth, the Crawdon, the Gardevoir, the Durant, the Hitmonchan, the Electivire, and the Mega Camel. So things to note right off the bat about his team. He only has 2 rockers. He only has Chansey and Mega Camel, which I learned Chansey got rocks like 5 minutes before the game, so that was unfortunate. I thought it was just Mega Camel. And his only removal is Hitmonchan. So his team is very offensive. He has a very offensive team. His bulk is Chansey and Tangrowth and Torn, and that's about it. So kind of got to keep up the pressure. The good news is that my offense does really well against his offense. But this is a matchup with a surprising twist to it. So jumping into our first Pokemon is the first thing I saw on this team. Now you're going to be like, oh, it's going to be his sweeper. It's going to be his this. The first thing I saw on this team... Let me move my OBS over here. The first thing I saw on this team was that he had no hazard removal. His hazard removal was Hitmonchan. Now, Hitmonchan, well, it's a good remover. Look at my team. Even just look at the 6 that I'm bringing. You guys can see them. But just look at my team as a whole. I have a Jellicent, I have a Claydol, I have a Mega Gardevoir, I have a Heracross, I have a Mamoswine. You know, I just have so much to pressure Hitmonchan that... you know, it's not that great, but it has to come because it's only spinner, and I have 2 spike stackers, a toxic spiker, 3 rockers. I have so much hazards, and his team does not appreciate hazard switch-ins. So the first mod I put in this team was our Greninja, and the first 2 mods I put on this thing were Toxic Spikes and Taunt. I decided to go with Waterfall and U-Turn after building the rest of the team because I was really unsure what to do with this Gren other than Taunt, Toxic Spikes. Taunt is for the Chansey because, you know, Chansey is fat and annoying, and Toxic Spikes because his team, a lot of it's grounded. To get the T-Spikes damage up is gonna be really nice. It also keeps Chansey eternally toxic because with Natural Cure, it'll switch out and lose its toxic, and that's unfortunate because that's gonna be the best way of beating down Chansey. This spread, wow, I wish I had my notes up. Give me a second. All right, so now that I'm not a nerd and pulled up my notes, let's look at this Greninja EV spread. So 160 speed plus Jolly Nature outspeeds a max speed Gengar and a Crawdaunt at +1 if he's max Jolly. A 64 HP and 52 defense, lives a 0 special attack superpower from Torn. So if he is 0 attack and not life orb, if he's like bulky with AV, superpower doesn't kill me after rocks. And then 64 HP is 4 hit KO'd by Seismic Toss from Chansey, because that's probably the only attacking move it's going to have is Seismic Toss. And then my attack investment, 2 hit KOs, standard Crawdaunt with U-turn, so I can U-turn, probably have to sack a Pokemon to it, and then come back in. And then the extra 56 just to get some Spadef in there, because the team is very especially offensive as well, stuff like Torn and whatnot, just to take the hits a little bit better. Waterfall as our best move to hit Chansey in case I have to 1v1 it, because Taunt plus Waterfall will give me some good chip on it. U-turn to get initiative and to get in and out, and then obviously Taunt and Toxic Spikes, I explained earlier, were very nice. Second up is the second one I instantly saw, and that is Bog. Scarf HERA goes absolutely insane against his team. His fighting resists are few and far between, so it's very easy to set up Heracross with a +1 boost and just go crazy. All I really need is to chip down that Tornadus. That is going to be the big threat, and if he's not like very physically defensive Tornadus, close combat still does like, I think it does 44%-ish at neutral if he's like standard Torn, and if he is no bulk at +1, I do like 60. So Heracross is super powerful this game. Mega Horn for stuff like guard. What's the other thing? I don't know. I'm throw it on the screen. Rock Slide for Tornadus, and Knock Off for stuff like Chansey to get rid of its Eviolite would be really nice. Alright, so next up is our Raikou. This is a very cool, pivoty, bulky Raikou with Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Hidden Power Water, and Toxic. Our Raikou is 76 and 56, so 76 HP and 56 defense, is 3 hit KO by 0 attack, Life Orb superpower after Stealth Rocks, so if he clicks superpower and then switches and then comes back in and clicks superpower, and yada yada yada. Obviously, if he does that 3 times for whatever reason, or if that were to ever happen, I'm 3 hit KO'd by it. It just lets me take physical hits from Torn better, and it's the main physical move I'm going to be taking from Torn. 76 and 92 special attack is 3 hit KO'd by max special attack, Life Orb, Hurricane after rocks and leftovers. So we take 3 and we just beat Torn pretty much every time. So 216 has the same speed tier as Gengar, outspeeds a max speed Gengar, or Greninja outspeeds a max speed Gengar and a +1 Crawdaunt. Thunderbolt and Volt Switch, obviously free. His only ground type is Mega Camel, which I'm running HP Water for. That gets blown back to the next dimension. And then Toxic for stuff like Chansey if it wants to come in, or a Torn, kind of to force it out. Like if he makes an aggro play and stays in, clicking Hurricane, and I overpredict, at least Toxicking the Tornadus is a no drawback play because it forces him out eventually, plus taking rocks damage and whatnot. So that's really good. Playing for our Raikou. Toxic can work with a Chansey to put it on a timer and get it out. Next up, we got Metagrass, our Ferrothorn with Choppleberry, Iron Barbs with Power Whip, Stealth Rock, Leech Seed, and HP Fire. Y'all ever see a special attack invested Ferrothorn? Here you go. This is our Durant check. The big thing I noticed offensively about Halux's team is that Durant is actually the biggest problem on my team. Durant can almost OHKO my entire team if it's banded. So I needed to check. Choppleberry chews the superpower super well. Chews Adamant Banded superpower super well. And then 28 in special attack OHKOs the Durant after either rocks and Iron Barbs or Life Orb and Iron Barbs. Both work. I just need that chip that it will be taking, plus my Iron Barbs chip will put him in range of Hidden Power Fire, guaranteed every time with my 28 special attack investment, given he's not like some bulky Durant. For the rest of the EVs, pretty self-standard. The defense is to take the Adamant Banded Ferrothorn, or the Adamant Banded superpower, in case Durant wants to run that, just to run worst case scenario, and the 24 is just extra. The moveset I was really back and forth on. There was a lot of moves I wanted. I wanted Gyro Ball to help check Gengar and Haxorus, but I opted for Power Whip to help me break down the... I gotta pull this up. You're gonna see that flash for a second because I don't fully remember. I want to Power Up to help me break down the Chansey. That's what it was. I'm sorry. Help me break down the Chansey. Also helps me break down the Crawdaunt because it'd be weird to wall Crawdaunt but not be able to touch it and actually lose a Crawdaunt. Those were the 2 big ones, because obviously Gyro Ball's not going to do a whole lot to Chansey. I'm also going to run out of them because they can just be fat bitch. Leech Seed is my way of hitting down Chansey, installing it down, so that way he just can't sit in front of me, because we kind of just get in a sit-in war where I click Leech Seed, then he clicks Seismic Toss, and then I get that Leech Seed damage plus he takes Iron Barbs, and we kind of just sit there for a while. So it kind of bullies the Chansey down. Even if I don't beat it, bullies it. Stealth Rocks for the Tornadus was the big reason I wanted Ferrothorn for this team. Also helps with Durant, and then Hidden Power Fire for that Durant, obviously. Next up, we got Mamoswine, our Mamoswine, and if you look over at our friend's team over there, his Mamoswine switch-in is Hitmonchan. Homeboy sacks to Mamoswine every time it's in. This thing's insane against his team. Obviously, the Gengar is Levitate this generation. But other than that, his ground resists are Tangrowth, which dies to Icicle Crash, and Crawdaunt, which doesn't even resist ground. Oh, and Torn, which also dies to Icicle Crash. So we're Crash, Ice Shard, Earthquake Knockoff, very standard. We're 24 to outspeed max speed Hitmonchan. I really didn't know what benchmark I wanted to hit, but I didn't want to run max to speed tie with Gardevoir, because if he brought Gardevoir, it was probably going to be Scarf anyways to outspeed my Gardevoir and my Gren and Raikou and stuff like that. So there was no point in me running max speed, because most likely if he's Scarf Guard, he's not going to be max speed Guard unless he's scared of Scarf Mamoswine, in which case even if I knock it off, it'll still outspeed me, so it doesn't really matter. So we just outspeed max speed Hitmonchan, so that way, worst case scenario, obviously like he gets both Mach Punch and Bullet Punch, which I think are both very good brings against my team. At least my Ice Shard goes first, so I get a nice 20% damage off before I go down if I'm stacking Mamoswine and Hitmonchan. 32 to hit the Life Orb 9, and then the 32 plus 36 lives a 0 attack superpower from Tornadus after Stealth Rocks. The classic bulk I was going for. And last but not least, we got Bulgat, our Golbat. This is just max with def, Aerial Ace, Roost, Super Fang, U-turn. We're Aerial Ace over Brave Bird, so I don't take a Brave Bird damage, because Life Orb Gengar is a very big problem for me. But if I take Brave Bird damage, I put myself into 2-hit KO by Thunderbolt range. Life Orb Thunderbolt is a 0.4% chance to 3-hit KO my Golbat. But if I'm Brave Bird, after my Brave Bird recoil, it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO. Obviously don't want that. This needs to stay alive to check Gengar. So we're Aerial Ace to do a lot of damage, because Gengar's Fizz Def is Roost to keep ourselves healthy, Super Fang for stuff like the Chansey and the Tornadus and the Tangrowth, stuff that's going to be really fat and not going to take a lot from Aerial Ace, and then U-turn to keep the initiative. Really didn't worry about Defog. Like I said, I found out Chansey got rocks 5 minutes before the game started, so going into prep, I only thought his only hazard was Stealth Rocks Mega Camel. That's literally it. Gengar doesn't get T-Spikes, nothing else gets hazards, so I was not worried about hazards for my team, and even if he gets hazards up, my team isn't too weak to hazards, so more so an annoyance if anything. So that's going to be my squad, and you're probably thinking, you're not bringing Mega Gardevoir to your first week of an ORAS League? Are you insane? Look at this team. Honestly, like, yeah, Mega Guard offensively does amazing, but if there was ever a bad Mega Guard matchup, it's probably this one. Torn outspeeds, and if he runs Iron Tail will Oko me, if not Hurricane will do a lot. He has a Gengar, which is going to do a lot. Haxorus drops, but if it's +1, I try to Poison Jab. Chansey is a huge wall. I tried so many different sets, just you can't get around Chansey with Mega Guard. Obviously my team get around it, but nothing wants to, like, I don't want to switch into a Seismic Toss, take damage, and just go through that whole thing, because my team's going to get weakened. Tangrowth, if it's AV, can check Mega Guard to an extent. Crawdaunt, the Aqua Jet's going to hurt, but obviously it dies. Gardevoir, if it's Scarf, it's probably going to have Shadow Ball to hit my Gardevoir. Durant murders 3 Gardevoirs. Hitmonchan gets access to Bullet Punch, which is a huge thing of why I'm scared of it. If he's like Drain Punch, Bullet Punch, Rapid Spin, and then either like Thunder Punch or Ice Punch or something like that to hit one of my other walls in Jellicent or Claydol, that thing is a very big problem, especially if you can keep healthy by Drain Punching the right things. Electivire, I didn't prep for Electivire, I kind of forgot he had it. And then Mega Camel will obviously eat Hyper Voices and Psyshock, because it is very fat, because it's not very fast, it's very fat. And it's going to blow me the next dimension, and obviously I don't want to Hidden Power Water on my Gardevoir. Although I could, because I didn't really need Hidden Power against his team. But I felt like if anything was going to take the bench, it was probably Mega Guard, because everything else served a purpose in this game. Mega Guard was kind of just like, well, it clicks buttons, but it also dies everything. So if I was going to bring a Wall Breaker that clicked buttons and died, I may as well bring Mamoswine, which just does it better than Mega Guard this game. So with that out of the way, we are going to jump into the game. I will be right back. Alright, and here's the battle against Halux. So we can see that Halux brought the Hitmonchan, the Durant, the Tornadus, the Chansey, the Haxorus, and the Crawdaunt. This is pretty much exactly what I expected. The only big difference was the Haxorus over the Gengar. I felt Gengar was really good to my team, but Haxorus can definitely be a problem. Bizdef Ferrothorn can still check it, so I just gotta keep Ferrothorn a little bit healthier than I would plan. Also, Golbat is completely free here, so I can use Golbat as a Hitmonchan check, as a Tornadus check, so I don't have to keep using Raikou. And overall, it just helped me. It's pretty free as a pivot. So, looking at his team, game plan going into it was obviously just chip down his team, get up hazards, chip down his team so Scarf Heracross can win. His team right now, honestly, like his team looks super easy to get in the Heracross range. Need a little bit of chip on Haxorus. I need mostly chip on Tornadus, and I need a little bit on Durant and the Hitmonchan. Just a little bit on all of those, and then Scarf Close Combat literally just wins. So I'm going to lead with my Raikou because he doesn't have a ground type. If he leads with Tornadus, he's forced out, and then I get the initiative. And if he stays in, then I do like 50 to 60% with a Volt Switch on his Tornadus, which already is one of my 3 objectives of getting Heracross to win done. So he's going to lead with his Tornadus, I'm going to lead with Raikou. And turn 1, I'm just going to Volt Switch as planned. He goes into Chansey. This is exactly how my game plan was. I Volt Switch into Greninja. I'm going to taunt this turn so he can't set up rocks. This is when I learned he got rocks. And then I'm going to start setting up my T-Spikes because I live 2 Seismic Tosses. He lets me get the first one, which means I'm guaranteed to get the second one. And he doesn't switch out to take a Light Poison on anything. I'm going to taunt again this turn. Just to make sure he can't heal up or do any like T-Waving. And then he's going to switch in Hitmonchan on my U-turn. This was really good for me because it allows me to go into my Golbat. And then he's going to reveal Protect on his Hitmonchan, which gives me a lot of information. First off, he's not Assault Vest, which I really thought he would be. With threats like Raikou and Greninja and even Mega Guard, if he's Assault Vest, he can live a Hyper Voice and a Psychic from Mega Guard from full. So he reveals he's not Assault Vest, which really surprised me. He also reveals Protect, which I really wasn't sure why he had Protect. Asked him after the game. He said he just didn't know what last move to have. So he put Protect on it, which I was really surprised about, but it works for me because it's just one less coverage move he doesn't have. This turn I'm going to Aerial Ace, and this turn I'm going to Overpredict, which hindsight always 2020. I U-turn, hindsight Aerial Ace was no drawback there because if he went something like Chansey, it would have done like 12%, 13, or probably like closer to like 18 to 20% to Chansey. Would have got it Toxic, and then I could have Super Fanged, forcing him to start healing, being an annoyance, and then stuff like what Durant would have taken more from Aerial Ace. Torn was just more chip. Everything was just more chip that was free for my team. But I decided to U-turn, and he decides to just take the hit and Rapid Spin. I don't think I ever killed him with Aerial Ace because he was very bulky. But it would have killed him with Toxic damage afterwards. So he's going to end up Rapid Spinning the T-Spikes away. I'm going to go into my Raikou just to get more momentum next turn. And then I'm going to Volt Switch out. Or no, I'm going to T-Bolt because I can't risk him living. Because since he's not Assault Vest, he won't... Since he's not Assault Vest, he'll die to Thunderbolt. But won't die to Volt Switch because he's probably very bulky. So I decided to Thunderbolt just to kill off the Hitmonchan, so I can probably get T-Spikes up later. He's going to go into Chansey as obvious of a switch. So now I'm just going to Volt Switch... Or no, I'm going to Toxic the Chansey to force it out as he gets up his rocks, which was unlucky. Greninja's dead, but now I have it as sack fodder. I'm going to Volt Switch into my Mamoswine, and he's going to Toxic here. So he's going to reveal Toxic. So this is exactly the Chansey set I was expecting once I found out I got rocks. This is the exact Chansey set. I thought he would run T-Wave over Toxic, but Toxic also makes sense, so I can't just sit and be annoying with my fat stuff. Stuff like Jellicent, and I guess it also works more for Jellicent because Seismic Toss can't hit Jellicent. So his last move definitely has to be Soft Boiled, which forces him to switch out for Natural Cure, which is why I wanted T-Spikes because I knew he wouldn't have Heal Bell and such. Not that Heal Bell would help him, except for staying in with Toxic. So Mamoswine's in. I'm just going to click Knockoff here because I want to get rid of this thing's Eviolite. Also getting rid of items on literally anything is free. And he's actually going to sack off the Hitmonchan, and I'm going to crit him with Knockoff. This crit did matter to the extent of if I didn't crit him, he died to Toxic, so it would have been a Greninja kill. But the Knockoff just gave me the Mamoswine kill. He's going to reveal to be Payapa Berry, which is kind of shocking because since he wasn't Assault Vest, he didn't live the Hyper Voice from Gardevoir. But, you know, as they do. Take my Life Orb, he's going to die, which means less priority to worry about with my Heracross as well. He's going to go into Crawdon. I don't want to sack my Mamoswine yet to an Aqua Jet. I think it still has a lot of breaking power, and I want it to knock off that Chansey. So I'm going to switch out into my Greninja, sack it off to the incoming Crawdon, but he's actually going to switch out, which at the time I didn't notice, but hindsight actually reveals he's Scarf because he's faster than my Mamoswine. I didn't realize this till after the game, that he switched out first. So I play around it not thinking that. But if he was something like a DD or a Swords Dance Crawdon, any setup on that turn, I had Raikou in the back, which always lived. It lived a +2 Aqua Jet unless he was Adamant Life Orb, which I had Ferrothorn for, and if he was DD, I lived any hit with Raikou regardless, and I outsped +1, so I lived any +1 Aqua Jet his Crawdon could have been. But he was Scarf, didn't realize it. My Greninja goes down to Rocks, which is fine, and I go into my Raikou just to get more initiative here because this is a Tornadus. He's going to U-turn, I'm going to chew that up, and I'm going to Volt Switch because he's not going to stay in. He reveals he's Life Orb Tornadus, which is also really good news for me. Since he's Life Orb, he's probably not very bulky. Which means him being in Heracross range just got even easier, since he's probably just going to be like whatever leftover EVs he had from speed creeping my team. He could be like Max Torn to outspeed Greninja, but I don't think that's a bring, since he's 122 and Greninja's 121. He's probably just outspeeding Raikou, so the rest of it in HP. So whatever that is, that HP investment would be what he would against my Heracross. So getting him in range plus Life Orb Chip is just going to be so much easier. So I'm going to Volt Switch, and learning that he's Life Orb makes me really want to go, I'm going to go Ferrothorn here because I really need Rocks up. I could have went Mamoswine and clicked Knockoff and repeated the same cycle I went with Hitmonchan, but I didn't for multiple reasons. First, I would have taken Rocks plus Toxic plus Life Orb. That would have basically killed my Mamoswine to the point where it was kind of just a sack at that point, and I didn't want that. I wanted to keep Mamoswine somewhat healthy so I could still come in and click Icicle, or click Ice Shard against the Haxorus and force it to attack me, instead of being like, well, he's going to die this turn, and if he's Yachi, I can set up. So at least it like forces Haxorus to kill Mamoswine if I'm in front of it. If he's Yachi, it also lets me keep it around for the Tornadus to click Ice Shard. This, I also needed Ferrothorn to get Rocks up because it gives me the Essential Chip on Durant, it gives me the Essential Chip on Tornadus, it gives me the Essential Chip on Haxorus. Also keeps Chansey low, so that way when it comes in, it has to heal up in case he switches out here. So Rocks were super crucial at this point in the game, especially because his Hitmonchan was dead, no spin, so now they're there to stay. He's going to withdraw into his Tornadus. Look at that juicy 24%. And I get my Leech Seeds up so I can heal my Ferrothorn back to full. And I'm going to go into my Raikou, since I can take any hit, especially after Rocks, and then the leftovers and Leech Seeds will let me live another. He's going to Heat Wave. And then between Lefties and Leech Seed, I live another one. Heat Wave to 33. So Hurricane is like, he needs a max roll to kill me. And I have to live a Heat Wave. So I'm going to click Volt Switch here, and he's actually going to reveal to have HP Ground. Which is really surprising. I didn't think he would have that. I thought Superpower would be enough damage to a standard Raikou, that if he wanted to kill it, Superpower would be doing enough. But he brought Hidden Power Ground, so good bring on his part, kills off my Raikou. But that's fine, because Tornadus is now pretty much chipped forever, unless I let it just switch in and out for free. But my team kind of doesn't allow that. So let my Raikou go down. I'm going to go into my Heracross now, because he's at 30%. Close Combat claims here. I thought I could win the game right here. Just right off, and just clean up with Heracross. So I'm gonna click Close Combat. He's gonna go into Durant though, and he does have a little bit more bulk in his Durant than I expected, or I miscalculated or something like that. And Heracross or Durant lives. Oh boy. Now I could have stayed in and clicked Close Combat, but I didn't want to, because after I kill the Durant, I +2 Crawdon or -2 defense. Crawdon could come in and click Aqua Jet, and that would really hurt my Heracross. Obviously don't want to risk that, so I'm just going to switch out into my Ferrothorn, let it die to Iron Barbs, because I knew he had to click Iron Head there. There was no other play. Or he clicked like X Scissor. I took a little bit more damage, but whatever. But I think Iron Head was just his overall best play. And regardless of what he clicked, he died to my Iron Barbs anyway. So he's going to go down. Going back into his Tornadus. I'm going to go into my Golbat because I'm Spadef, so I can chew every hit from this thing. He's going to Heat Wave. Sucks. Didn't matter though, because Heat Wave did like 18% to my Spadef Golbat. So the only thing it really would have done is it would have forced me to roost this turn. But I think I do that anyways. Yeah, I do that anyways because I expect him to go for Hurricane. So it would have forced me to roost, but like I roosted anyways. So it really didn't matter. He's going to go into Chansey, which is perfect. I'm going to Super Fang here as he's going to Seismic Toss me. And now between the Super Fang and the U-turn, he's forced to heal up next turn. So I'm going to U-turn, and I'm going to go into my Ferrothorn again. This was debatable. I could have went Heracross and just got another kill, but I'm still worried about this Crawdon. So I decided I can go into Ferrothorn, I can get some Leech Seeds, Get some Leech Seed chip on this as he heals or he switches. As he's gonna go Hard Haxers here, and I get Leech Seeds up. Hard Haxers was an interesting play. I think he could have sat there with Chansey for a little bit, or he could have went Tornadus aggressive on Ferrothorn. But I guess if he didn't want to risk Gyro Ball, this was probably his best switch. But regardless, I'm Fizz Def Ferrothorn, so I can still check this thing. This thing doesn't get a fire move other than HP Fire and Incinerate, which I can live one of. I'm pretty sure at least. He's gonna DD and I Power Whip. That does a little bit of nothing, but between the Leech Seed recovery and the damage, he'll die to another round of whatever. Now this is going to get unfortunate because he's gonna click Earthquake and crit me. That's unfortunate because I lived 2+1 Earthquakes. Even Life Orb might have been a roll actually. I don't remember the exact calcs, but I'm pretty confident I lived 2 because I'm very Fizz Def Ferrothorn, and I'm gonna miss my Power Whip. That sucks as well because between the Power Whip and the Leech Seed, that would have killed his Haxorus off right then and there. The Power Whip from the last one did 22 plus the Leech Seed, so worst case, he'd kill me next turn. But like, it's just an unfortunate turn. I get my Leech Seeds back. He's at 20% now, so that would have killed for sure. Data, my Ferrothorn goes down. Gonna go to my Mamoswine to revenge this here. I don't go Heracross because again, I don't want to lower my defense for that Crawdaunt coming in. If I'm lowering my defense, I want it to be on the Crawdaunt. I want to kill him and then win the game from there. So I'm gonna Ice Shard just to pick off this Haxorus. Also, he outspeeds me. I guess that's the bigger reason, is he outspeeds my Heracross since he's +1. He's gonna go into Crawdaunt. Didn't realize this was Scarfed, but it doesn't really matter. I click Ice Shard just to get less min chip because I figure he's gonna Aqua Jet me anyways. But he's gonna click Crab Hammer. So big man. I go down. I'm gonna go in my Heracross and click Close Combat. His Tornadus is guaranteed in range, especially because he lets me kill the Crawdaunt here. Tornadus couldn't take 2 coming in, so it was pretty much checkmate at that point. Goes into Tornadus. I do 52% minimum. He sent me a set. I do even more. I was calcing Bulky Torn. I do 52% min. I outspeed, kill the Tornadus. Chansey comes in. There's no universe where this thing even comes close to living. Kill him off, and we are going to win week 1 of WPF 2-0 off the back of Bog. So GG's to Halux. If he has links, I'll leave them down below. I don't think he does, but if he does, I'll definitely leave a link down below. So yeah, I feel like I played really well that game. I feel like I positioned myself perfectly for that Heracross end game. And yeah, I'm really excited for this league and to keep playing. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. If you guys haven't already, hit the subscribe button as well. Really would mean a lot to me to let me know if you enjoy my content, because I don't know, whatever reasons that people enjoy my content for. But yeah, let me know if you guys enjoyed this video, any feedback, any stuff like that. Make sure you guys go follow me on the places that I have linked down there. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace. I'm out.